Before I begin, I'd like to concede that as a Cadillac LYRIQ owner, my opinions about it being the best electric vehicle on the market can be thought to be subjective. However, a lot of what I'm going to be saying here is objective in my opinion. First, a bit of history. Back in 2009, under Barack Obama's presidency, General Motors suffered a bankruptcy. And because they're one of the companies considered to be too big to fail, the federal government gave them several billions of dollars in order to reorganize. The CEO was required to step down, and in his place, Mary Barra took the helm. There was a reorganizing effort which took place. The European market was abandoned. The focus was instead on the North American market alone. There were still some ties to China, but basically the focus was on the North American market. In 2019, to concede to a niche market, the company started to produce the Chevy Bolt, which was its first sort of mass market electric vehicle, but again targeted towards a niche market segment. In 2020, General Motors announced that they were going to be investing $54 billion over 5 years into electric vehicles and create a new technology platform on which to make mass market electric vehicles instead, and retired the production of internal combustion engine cars by 2035. In order to achieve this goal, General Motors started a new business unit called Ultium Cells to produce domestic batteries, which is a very important part of the overall strategy. A new factory was started up in Warren, Ohio, and several additional factories were starting to be created. One of them in Spring Hill, Tennessee, and then there was another one in Michigan and a fourth one in Indiana in order to ramp up domestic production of electric vehicle batteries. Under President Biden's administration, something called the Inflation Reduction Act was enacted, making many incentives available to businesses to build electric vehicles with domestic sourced parts. General Motors was very uniquely aligned for this receipt of federal subsidies, and the plans to electrify their product portfolio accelerated. The first electric vehicle using Ultium technology was the Hummer EV, but it was more or less a testing platform for the new technology in order to work out some of the bugs. The first mass market vehicle was the Cadillac LYRIQ. By the time of its debut, billions of dollars had been spent trying to capture a path to achieve the long-term goals set out by the company. This car is a vanguard for the future of General Motors. Much depends on it. I once heard of a Rivian owner having to drive to Atlanta to have their truck serviced, and a Tesla owner chimed in saying, "Hey, if you had a Tesla, you could have had it serviced here." But then in the next breath, a Tesla owner is going to say that it's not good to have dealers because they cost too much or something along those lines. So, I mean, which is it? Is it good to have dealers all over the place and places to service your car? Or is it not good to have dealers all over the place and places to service your car and having to drive to Atlanta to get your truck repaired? I don't know. I think it's a bit of a nitpicky argument. I think it's very clear that if I'm going to own a vehicle that costs many tens of thousands of dollars, I want a place in my neighborhood where I can go get it fixed. You might be thinking, how can a Cadillac be a standout in the value category? And I think what's going on with so much riding on the LYRIQ being a vanguard for the Ultium platform and the future of General Motors, they basically threw the kitchen sink at the number of features available. Just to quickly go over, first in the EV technology category, there's a 102 kilowatt hour battery pack with an estimated EP range of 312 miles. My wife and I routinely see over 300 miles of range in the car. It's very comfortable. It has a top charging speed of 190 kilowatts, and it also has the ability to precondition the battery. which other EV models do not have. In other categories, like passenger comfort, there is an amazing amount of interior cabin space, very comfortable seats that are both cooled and heated, as well as the steering wheel is heated. There's a 33-inch OLED display. There are ambient light customizations. There are a 19 speaker sound system, a sunshade for the roof, and just many, many luxury features. They really went overboard with the amount of features that are available. Also, the car is built in the United States, and because the batteries were also um, made in the United States, it qualifies for the full $7,500 federal tax credit. Tesla and other EV startups are often credited with being some of the most innovative car companies on the planet. I'm a professional technologist, and the truth is, I'm underwhelmed with the technology in those cars. Let me just rattle off some of the advanced features that call out innovation in the Cadillac LYRIQ offered by General Motors, which some people would consider to be surprising. First, OnStar, which is a one button emergency assistant as well as concierge service. Super Cruise, very effective, non phantom braking, interstate corridor, LiDAR mapped, hands off, advanced auto driver assist system. Very impressive. Something called Altify, which is a means of providing over the air updates through technology provided by Red Hat. The rear view camera is not using the analog method of reflective light. It actually uses a camera in the rear view mirror hooked up to something in the back, which provides more visibility for the driver. Google navigation is, in my opinion, best in class for EV destination state of charge estimations. I recently took a long road trip in a Tesla Model 3, and its destination state of charge estimates vary wildly while you're en route, which is tremendously frustrating. The General Motors selection of using Google navigation is, in my opinion, going to be the de facto standard for most EVs in the future. Google does a terrific job with this. There's something called boiling the ocean, where a company tries to do too many things that they're not good at. And what ends up happening is they lose focus on their primary purpose in life, which is making cars. And I think a lot of the EV startups suffer from boil the ocean mentality. Another one of the advanced features available in the Cadillac LYRIQ that is very innovative is the Auto Park Assist. You could pull up to a space, press a button, and let the car park itself. Pretty cool stuff. So, unless someone can tell me another car that is domestically made, which qualifies for the $7,500 federal tax credit, that has many innovative features that are not trying to boil the entire ocean, an enormous number of luxury features with over 300 miles of real world range, and a prolific dealership network, then I'm going to stick with the Cadillac LYRIQ being the best EV on the market today. Thanks for watching.